Hey guys, welcome back to S.H.Figuarts. If you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. And today we're going to take a look at the S.H.Figuarts Kamen Black, and this is the shinkocchou seihou version. And if you consider the shinkocchou seihou as a line for S.H.Figuarts, this is supposedly the 3.0 version of Kamen Black. And at the time of this video, Shadow Moon just got announced, which is pretty cool. But yeah, let me know what you think. As a kid, I think I was more of a Power Ranger kid. Never really watched the show because I was too young. I did have some toy of this guy here and there, but again, never watched the show. And I think Black RX was my favorite design when I was a kid. But anyways, here's the left box, here's the right of the box, and here's the back of the box. And that's not wasting more time, and bust this thing open and see what we got. And here's the figure still in the inner packaging, looking very basic. The older Kamen Riders doesn't really have any fancy weapons. They're more of like hand-to-hand combat. But anyways, looking really good, and let's check it out. Alright, and here we have the figure itself. And my first impression on this figure is really good. But I think that's a given, for this is probably one of the most expensive line from S.H.Figuarts. So it is expected. It should be using all the latest technology, all the great engineering, and it should be using a variety of different materials based on what we saw. It was on social media for a very long time, and let's just take a close look at the figure here. On the first touch, I really like the way it feels. It smells good as well. And yeah, let me know in the comments on what you think. You can tell like all these like different parts of his body is textured, and some of them is soft material, some of them is not. And I like the translucent eyes is always nice. And the the shoulder part is actually made out of like a soft material. Like this is a silicone. And I read online, a lot of people like tear these very easily, so I will be really careful when I'm handling this. But I think specifically for this movement, if you stretch this out a little bit too much, you can easily tear this, so be careful there. But yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward. It looks like walk out straight from the TV. Very, very cool. And yeah, let's jump straight into the articulation. And for the articulation, let's quickly go over it from the neck down, but we have to be really careful with the shoulder part. He can look up about this much, look down about this much. You can tilt his head side to side, no problem. And I think this whole thing doesn't have any pull-out method or any like butterfly joints. It's just a really nice ball joint connected with a L-shaped silicone. And you can raise it about this much before I start feeling uncomfortable. I'm pretty sure people who tear this, like they just like kind of force it like all the way up, which I will not recommend you to do. And I don't think he needs that kind of movement anyways. I gotta check some clips before I do the action posing. But yeah, we have bicep swivel, and you can curl about this much, which is really nice. And we do get a usual ball wrist. And I think that is the only part they use the silicone because for the ab crunch over here, this is actually hard plastic. Bend forward about this much, bend backwards about this much. There's good side-to-side movement. And for the lower body here, this the quote-unquote diaper piece, I always call it, it's soft material, so it doesn't hinder your articulation when you kick up. And you can bend about mine's a little bit stiff. I gotta be really careful because these are expensive. And we do have swivel over here. And we have good ankle rocker, toe hinge, and yeah, I believe that's it for the articulation. It's pretty straightforward. It can basically move exactly as you want for the most part, minus the shoulder piece. And yeah, not shoulder piece, the shoulder muscle. And let's check out some accessories. He got a bunch of hands. And for the accessories, we can start off with a pair of just relaxed open hands, and these are always very nice. And they're very nicely painted and sculpted. It's actually got some texture on it as well, same as his body. And then we get a pair of karate chop. I know he does a lot of posing with this kind of hands. We get a pair of just style posing hands, and I think this was the thing to do in the 90s. And then we get a pair of just display open hands. And lastly, we get a pair of instant transmission hands, or as a Naruto fan, I will call this the jutsu hands. But anyways, I believe that's everything. We also get a spare pair of antenna in case you break it, and let's check out some action posing. And for the size comparison, let us start with some Kamen Riders I have around, and of course they look very good together. And next up, we have some renewal version of S.H.Figuarts Kamen Riders, and of course they look great. And then we have some good old Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts, some Naruto and Jujutsu Kaisen S.H.Figuarts, and then we have some Mayfax figures, and I think they scale pretty good as well. And lastly, we have some Figma figures, and let's jump straight into the final thoughts. Alright, so for the final thoughts, I think this review is very straightforward. If you are a big fan of Kamen Rider Black, this one is definitely a must-have. It's a beautiful figure. My only gripe with this figure is that the neck is a little bit too long. I actually googled the pictures just now, and yeah, the neck is a little bit too long. And I know some third parties are making like accessories for him, like making some of the adjustment on the shoulder pad, the neck, and giving him like those like red punches he does in the show, which is very, very cool. I'm not sure if I'll get it, but if I get it, I'll review it. And yeah, I don't think we're gonna see a better version of Black for a very long time, so this one's a no-brainer. And I know Shadow Moon is coming out. We're for sure getting Black RX and maybe other forms, and I saw some leaked photos of the actual actor being an S.H.Figuarts, so that would be very cool. I'll definitely get it. But yeah, Kamen Rider Black is definitely one of the most popular in the 90s, if I remember correctly. Again, I was more of a Power Ranger kid, but I knew who Black RX and Black was, so yeah, it must be very popular. But let me know in the comments on what you think, and this is Derek. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, and stay safe and healthy. Be clean.